Hey everyone! This is going to be a little tour of Closet Collectables, their Crete, Illinois location, and it is huge. I had previously visited their other two locations, which are much smaller. So I visited over the summer, and this was my experience. On the exterior of the building, there's this super long mural with cats and a lot of really iconic toys, mostly from the 80s. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Strawberry Shortcake, Cabbage Patch Kids, Fisher-Price, He-Man, Pokemon, My Little Pony, just to name a few. And they really do have a little bit of everything here. It is so cool. Upon entering, one of the employees asked if I'd ever been here before, and I said no, and they gave me a little tour, which was actually so useful. I do prefer to just take my own time somewhere and get to know it, but the tour was really needed. This is the front area of the store. As you can see, it's filled with Hot Wheels all over the walls, on the shelves, and even in boxes on the floor. I did overhear some people saying oh, there's no red lines, so I know those are a really sought after line, but at least when I went, it seemed like they didn't have any. In this little hallway are a bunch of Transformers, different eras, different sizes. I don't know too much about Transformers, so I can't speak more specifically on it, but also on the walls all throughout the building are just a lot of really cool artworks that have to do with either geek culture, like comics, TV shows. Also, from what I was observing throughout the store, I think all the prices are really fair. I did end up buying a few different things, and a lot of those were actually on sale, so I paid a lot less than what they were marked as. This room right here was filled with video game memorabilia and toys and actual video games from different eras. These were all the older video games that they had, but most of them you're gonna see are for the Wii, for the Xbox, and those kind of disc games. As you can see, there's some video game character action figures. They had guitars for Guitar Hero and stuff like that. A lot of newer stuff for sure. I wouldn't say there was anything super grail-ish in this room, but I'll end up talking about that later where they keep that kind of stuff. It's not going to be out here. They do have a specific room for really rare sought after items. This room was full of action figures. I did end up digging through those bins to look for specific figures. I wouldn't say they were specifically organized in any way on the walls, so you did really have to look around, but it was so cool to see this many. And down here I ended up finding some already built model kits like Gundam, which is really cool. I actually kind of wish I had picked some of them up, especially because, like I said, I think they're really reasonably priced. Also in this room is going to be a lot of Legos, and then as you can see up there, I believe those are Star Wars playsets. The Legos, I wouldn't say they were mostly older. As you can see, at least in the boxes, I think those are mostly more recent sets. And then a lot of Star Wars sets out of the box but already built, which is really cool. Some more kind of newer sets. I think the prices were honestly a little bit below eBay, which is why I think they're good prices. And then, also you're not paying shipping and you're not paying all those other online fees. This room right here was very specifically $1 items. Everything in this room was $1. And there's a lot of different things in here. There's dead stock items, there's baseball cards, puzzles, glassware, a lot of small little toys. Then the next room is specifically dedicated to horror films. So there's a lot of action figures from characters from horror films, movies, shows, Elvira, Megan, Chucky, stuff like that. I'm also not super well versed on any of this stuff, so I can't speak further about it, but a lot of action figures, which to me they did look newer. And then you can see they have some masks. I don't know if those life-size mannequins were for sale, but in this next room it was really open, so there was a corner of G.I. Joe and soldier themed toys. Over here there was a lot of plushies on the walls, a lot of Star Wars figures. that whole box on the left side of the screen is full of Funko Pops out of the box. It's just a bin full of them. This was a little area of like anime figures and like anime related items. A lot of like different figures. There's just, when I tell you that there's just so much, there's so much. There's Bandai, SH Figure Arts, Furyu, Sega. And then over here, I think it was superheroes. Yeah, so there you go. There's like Spider-Man. I think this is specifically, that was Marvel, and there's a different DC section right here as a section of Ninja Turtles, a lot of action figures, Funko Pops. And then right here, I think this is the DC area. There's like 7 shelves full of DC figures. Guys, there's so much. Like, you don't understand, this is a warehouse. It is huge. Walking down this aisle right here, on the left side, like kind of general like toys. And then on this right side, what I'm focusing on is that these are all Barbies, all in box, all from different eras. Mostly older things. There was like a few things that were very recent or newer. This place does buy, sell, and trade, I believe. So there's a really good mix of things. Holiday Barbies, special edition Barbies, Barbies after like TV show actors and celebrities. Over here, there's a lot of like He-Man in box. Most of the stuff is in box. As you can see, there are a few things out of box. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, lunch boxes, Simpson plushies, and action figures. It was really cool to see all these older Simpsons figures. Like, I've never seen that many in one place. And it just goes on. There's Batman action figures, play sets. Literally, they really did have it all. They had so much. This whole aisle was actually just Funko Pops. I'm not interested in that too much, so I did just kind of skip over that. When I was getting the tour, they did ask me like what I was looking for, what I collected, so they can help me find that. And I said My Little Pony, and they're like, yeah, we don't actually have too much of that. So those few figures is kind of what they had. This image right here was an entire half of this large room was just like model cars and Hot Wheels type things. Now, here in this last room is full of things that they are currently selling on eBay and wherever they sell things online. So if you're looking for a Grail item, it's most likely going to be in this room. And they do also give you a massive discount if you buy it directly in the store with them versus online. Alrighty, thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.